Welcome back, everyone. It is week 18, our favorite week for DFS because it's just disgusting all across the slate. But we have thoughts and hopefully some winners for you this week. We have 13 games in the main slate, so without wasting any time, it's not get tilted as soon as I find the intro. All right, let's go.
You're listening to Get Tilted, only on Fantasy Now Plus.
Alrighty, hello everyone. I'm your host Brian Rockwood. Alongside me, as always, Tim Holstad, and we are here to bring you the latest and greatest in DFS this week. And we couldn't be more excited. This is what you play for. It's people benching starters. It's teams trying to figure out what they got in the rookie, and we get to find so much value and hilarious just roster decisions to make in the last week of the regular season. Tim, I cannot wait to get your thoughts on some of these games because I know for a fact that as a true dynasty sicko out there, there's some names that you have highlighted.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of learning names for folks this week. And what's crazy and somewhat unfortunate, but can't really be helped, is that we don't even really have that comprehensive of a list to give you. There's going to be so much that is announced an hour and a half before kickoff on Sunday on the early slate, and you're going to have to make some very quick pivots and decisions, and we will try and do our best to kind of line you up with that here as well as we can. You know, it's relatively easy to identify some teams of like, they say they're playing their starters, but are they going to play their starters? I don't know. So we'll do our best, but it's going to be a slog to get through. There's a lot of gross teams playing, a lot of gross games, but we're here for you.
And the games that matter are Saturday.
Yeah.
So we don't get to see them. Oh, and and Sunday night.
Yep.
The three games that literally determine important seedings are not in the main slate. So we don't even get to play with, I mean, not that we're going to play with many Panthers players anyway, but no Bucks, no Panthers, no Seahawks, no 49ers, which is a disappointing one, and no Ravens or Steelers.
Yeah.
And everyone else is fair game, including my MVP. Oh, I guess semi-MVP alongside Bijan Robinson. It's Tyler Shuck, baby. New Orleans Saints take on the Atlanta Falcons in a game that matters, shockingly. The Falcons, if they win, then they put the Bucks in a position that they cannot get into the playoffs. They effectively knocked the Bucks out as the three-way tie in the NFC South, which is hilarious still, at 8-9. If the NFC South is that three-way tie, the Panthers have the tiebreaker. So the Falcons are currently playing spoiler to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Saints are trying to figure out what they can do. So that's what this game is all about.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck, Kirk Cousins, those are going to be your starters. I don't think there's anything else going to be tricky with that. I don't think we're going to see Easton Stick. I don't think we're going to see Kyle Trask or Jake Heiner. Well, I'm not even sure if he's still on this roster. He must be, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to do with Tyler Shuck because he was one of my favorite plays heading into this week until we found out yesterday that Chris Olave has a blood clot in his lung and is out for the rest of the football season. And thankfully they caught it early, so it's not going to cause any permanent damage and he'll be back totally fine. But I'm not 100% certain I love Shuck without, frankly, his only like truly good weapon on the field, but he's cheap enough that it's still enticing and the game environment should be good because both teams are trying. You know, the Saints have been out of it for like 6 weeks at this point. This is just a pure Tyler Shuck like tryout more or less as far as is he going to become their franchise quarterback, at least for now. So I think he's interesting. I think Kirk Cousins is interesting-ish if his weapons play. We'll get into it, but he's looked a little bit better the last few games. Obviously, against the Rams, he wasn't fantastic, but it was against the Rams. And, the Saints defense is certainly no playoff caliber team. So I'm interested in both quarterbacks. I don't know if they're near the top of my list, but I think they're both perfectly playable and probably aren't getting benched.
Yeah, and I don't hate either. I think Cousins, like with last week, he didn't need to do anything. Bijan did all the work. And with Tyler Shuck, yeah, I'm with you there. I'm worried that without a true one, he's not going to be as exciting. He does have some sort of rushing floor, but
yeah,
I think there's some other interesting QBs that we'll talk about later that might pass him on our list here. Bijan Robinson, oh yeah. If he has even any incentives left to gain, I don't believe he does.
Nah.
I think he's just playing for the love of the game. He's just going to try to play for any sort of offensive player of the year nod and just pad some stats.
I think it's not really an incentive because he's still on his rookie contract, so he doesn't get money for it, but he is like in the running for being the league leader in scrimmage yards. He has to outpace McCaffrey by a certain amount. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I don't see why they would just let up now with 1 week left.
You could argue that they're thinking for ahead, but they're not playing the playoffs.
Yeah,
their season's over. He has plenty of time to rest up for the next season, so my gut says he just plays the majority of time.
Yeah, and this coaching staff could be fighting for their jobs. It's not fully leaning one way or another, but they certainly have underperformed compared to expectations. So they may just play everyone and try their best. And like you said, they probably want to win to have the Panthers make the playoffs instead of the Bucs.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, it puts a very positive spin on the Falcons, who have had a very weird year.
Yeah,
and I think both teams honestly are aiming for that. Like the Saints have been a pretty down year, but it's been so much better the past 7 or 8 weeks.
Yep.
And like you said, Shuck might be fighting for his starting spot. Every game he wins is it's like building his case to actually continue to be the starting quarterback next year, because they will have a good draft spot next year. Other running backs, Andre Estime, he played how we thought he was going to play in Week 16 last week. No one anticipated the Taysom Hill farewell tour showing, so Estime did not get the same type of work, but against Tennessee, that's exactly what we thought he would do. 14 for 94 and a touchdown. I think he could do worse. Might be able to do better, but he is a player that could be relevant. The Falcons defense looked pretty good against the Rams in terms of the run game. Yeah. So that's a little bit worrying there. You can still shoot your shot. I don't know if I don't think we should touch Evan Hull.
Yeah.
And that's it. For the wide receiver positions, I don't want to play Drake London. I don't really want to play Darnell Mooney.
Yeah. They're both questionable. Kirk Cousins doesn't really throw to either of them at this point for whatever reason. So they might hurt you, but I don't really want to put American dollars on betting that either of them figure it out in the last week of the season.
And really, if he's going to pick one player to throw to that not named Kyle Pitts, it's David Sills. Sorry. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why they have a connection that they do, but they do. And it has been not super exciting. So we can go ahead and pass on that. In terms of the Saints pass catchers,
Kevin Austin Jr.
This is it.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, even with Olave last week, he played 80% of snaps. Devon Bailey is also on IR. So they are down to, what is that, their wide receiver 4 at this point. as their wide receiver one. He showed last week that he has the juice to get there. He can break a big one. It's thin, but he's 3,400. There's going to be a lot of guys like this on the slate, so buckle up. But I think he's one of the safer ones because there's no chance he's getting pulled. There's always a chance someone else gets the target instead. You see the relic of times long gone of Dante Pettis floating around down there. But for the most part, it's someone's going to have to catch passes. I'm probably going to go Juwan Johnson, which we'll talk about in a bit. But if you want a receiver, I think any of the top 2 to 4 Saints, if you want to make your bet on it, I think they're all perfectly live to give you anywhere from 0 to 12. And at basically minimum price, that's fine.
Yeah, of most teams here, I think this is the wide receiver room that is the most easy to skip. I think we can move on from this one pretty dang quick. Because I think you're absolutely right. I think Juwan Johnson is the biggest benefactor of a missing Olave. He's already been a really reliable target for Shuck.
Yeah.
I think in this type of game, it's going to be a lot more Juwanson.
Yep. Do we play Taysom?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's always when there's less weapons, but I just don't think he's a weapon anymore either. I think he's just unfortunately done, though.
I think after kind of what we saw against Tennessee when, Andre Smith was doing much better. So I think they kind of just let him just do that. I think this, and you can kind of look at the rest of his season. He's just not the guy Kellen Moore wants to use.
Yeah.
So I think we can.
The first coordinator in NFL history that finally realizes that Taysom Hill is average.
Don't say that. He's about to retire. You can't say that he's average. Talking about average, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I think you can play him. I think he's almost too expensive for what you will probably do in this game. But
he's interesting if London and Mooney both miss, or even if mostly just London misses. I think I'm more interested, but I'm afraid that they're all going to cannibalize each other in a not pass heavy offense that's not that interested in throwing the ball.
Yeah. And speaking of which, I didn't even mention Tyler Algier, who hasn't been the same type of vulture that he has been previously.
Yeah.
I think they kind of realized that, we do like giving Bijan the ball, and giving Bijan the ball in scoring opportunities brings success.
Yeah.
So I think you can kind of skip an analogy or two. If you feel in your bones that he's going to get a lot more run in a end of season type of game, I wouldn't blame you. But I would probably stay away.
We'll point out that they've won 3 straight games, and he's done, outside of the Arizona game, he's done basically nothing in those 3 straight games. It's almost like there's some kind of correlation there.
We'll let the statistic nerds figure that one out in the offseason. Until then, keep giving the ball. Defenses, they're both cheap. I think you can play either. I don't hate either.
Yeah. Defense this week is going to be totally random. Like, there's so many starters sitting. There's so few teams actually trying. Like, you could easily say that the $2,000 defense could score as much as the $3,500 defense, pretty conceivably. So I think just pick a home team, favored, whatever's cheapest to put in your lineup, and then just accept whatever results are going outside of a couple plays that we'll highlight.
Yep. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go into sunny Cincinnati, where the Bengals are taking on the Cleveland Browns. Joe Burrow is playing. Shedeur Sanders is playing. I don't know if I'm playing either. Joe Burrow has been on fire, but at the same time, I don't know how much they care about this game in particular.
I mean, enough to start them and play them. So I think I'm just going to accept that there is some slight sit down risk and just play Burrow and see if he just gets there with Chase and Higgins. And if I'm wrong, that's a hill I would much rather die on than trying to play some darts with some of these wide receiver 4s and quarterback 2s that we'll talk about.
Yeah, I think this is kind of going to set the stage for a couple other games about let's just play the good QBs.
Yeah.
I think for most of your lineups, when you have the option to play Burrow or Tyler Huntley, even though I think Lamar's playing, that's even a bad example. I said Baltimore's not playing. If you're going to play Joe Burrow or Riley Leonard, who we'll talk about in just 1 second, I think the answer is rather clear. Shooter has not been fantasy viable outside of week 14. I think this is we have enough sample size to realize this is kind of who he is.
Yeah.
He is an average pocket passer who will not necessarily lose you the game, but he certainly won't really take over and win you a game, which is unfortunate. That was kind of his, not trump card per se, but his selling point.
Yeah.
And that's that. I know Cincinnati is a very bad defense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if we care because Harold Fannin is out.
And David Njoku.
And that's Judkins as well.
Yeah, like they're down every single weapon except for Jerry Jeudy. I'm not sure if Shedeur can get there even against a bad defense. And if he does, I couldn't tell you who it's going to be to outside of like the easy guess of Jerry Jeudy, but it's never easy when it comes to Jerry Jeudy.
Just truly, that one blip last season with him and Jameis Winston really fooled us all.
Yep.
He was like, I'm not a Jag. Steve Smith is wrong. I'm the dude. And he got exposed once again. Yep. That's okay. Because I don't know how many people were relying on Jerry Jeudy this season, especially in DFS. Running back Chase Brown, this feels like a smash to me. If we're all just playing our starters, he has been on fire the past few weeks. I love it. He's expensive now, but that's kind of worth it. This Cleveland defense has not been good against running backs. And I feel like Chase Brown is just going to continue to be good. Like, just kind of continue to keep his streak going here.
Yeah. He's still scary. He still gets subbed off for Samaje Perine way too much, but he's kind of proved in the last few weeks and really ever since Joe Burrow came back that it doesn't really matter for him. He's still scoring touchdowns. He's getting valuable opportunities in what is supposed to be a high-octane offense and sometimes is a high-octane offense. So he's a little pricey, but there's so many cheap options on this slate that he's one of the running backs where it's perfectly conceivable to pay up for him a little bit. I'm also pretty interested in Dylan Sampson.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah. Like the usage last week was odd, but I'm going to tell myself that was because it was his first week off of injury. And now that he's another week back healthier against a very bad Cincinnati run defense, the hope is that, Sampson can give you 12 to 15 carries. And the big thing, though, is with Fannin gone and with Njoku gone, the hope is that Sampson is also the check down target for Shedeur. And if that's the case, he could give you what he gave you in week 1 way back in the day with Joe Flacco, which was, a healthy amount of targets, healthy amount of yards. He didn't get a touchdown. If he had gotten a touchdown, he would have nuked. So it's possible. It's against the same team. I don't know if it's fully replicated, but it's something I'm interested in for his price tag.
I dig it. I do think there might be a lot of checkdowns in this one, and we have seen Sampson be able to take it to the house. He had his 66-yard touchdown against the Raiders in Shedeur's opening game, and he did it again, at least another 30-yard scamper against Tennessee. There is some upside here, and that is an interesting play. I don't think Rocket Sanders is any good.
Nah.
I think we can kind of ignore that, unfortunately. What could have been.
He might vulture a touchdown, which would be annoying, but you don't want to play someone on the hope they vulture a touchdown.
Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, no explanation needed. I think if you're playing Burrow, you're playing Chase.
Yep.
I think, like you said, T. Higgins, also an excellent play.
Cheap
Jerry,
Higgins.
is it cheap too for 6?
Yeah, 6K. Like, he's normally hovering in the 65, 7K range. So I like them both. Like
They know something we don't. What do you know, DK?
Yeah.
It's scaring me now. Jerry Jeudy, 4,100 pass. It's
Yep.
still playing cheap, but no thank you. Yeah, and like you said, everyone else not as exciting. Yoshivas, not as exciting. Cedric Tillman is the only other Cleveland. Oh, Isaiah Bond.
Like, they're all interesting in theory, and then you just remember how it just usually doesn't work. So you're like, well, nah.
Yeah, the amount of times that he just gets a deep shot and it just misses, and that's it for Isaiah Bond, that kind of puts the nail in the casket on that one.
Yep. It's worth noting, of course, has nothing to do with DFS, but Myles Garrett is going for the sack record in this game. They will probably be blitzing a lot. They will probably be mixing up ways to get Garrett as many good looks as possible because they tried the straight Garrett lines up 15 yards out to the right of the zone and bull rushes Rodgers thing, and it didn't work. So I imagine that they're going to actually like try and scheme him up a sack and let his talent do the rest. So a lot of blitzing also means a lot of Joe Burrow having deep shots, having one-on-one coverages. So another reason why I'm pretty interested in the Bengals this week, especially if they're actually going to try like they're claiming they will. So I don't think either defense is really in play. We skipped over tight ends because none of them are in play.
Right. This is nothing going on here. I'll just quickly
I
show you.
I don't want to guess who the Browns tight end 3 is because it's a great matchup on paper, but I couldn't tell you who it is or what kind of routes they're going to run or anything to that effect. So I'm just like not really going to worry about it, even though it should work on paper.
If someone, whoa, hold on. What's going on here, Sal Canella? He had 4 targets when Harold Fana went down. What is happening here, huh? Oh, there's nothing going on here. Wait, Blake Whitehead, 1 target. All right, we found him. We found him. This is the guy. Sal Canella, lock him in. Stone Min, 250.
Be my guest. If you win with that, good. All the more props.
I'm gonna just tagging everybody. Be like, you cannot believe you only got this info from Get Tilted. All right. Sorry. Last thing about defenses. I hopped over to tight ends real quick. Yeah. I agree with you. I don't want to play either. I don't want to gamble on the Browns defense against the Bengals. And no shot am I guessing the Bengals defense.
Especially at 3,400.
That's just like absurd.
Shadur's bad, but he's not that bad.
Yeah, it just helps us remove an option from our pool of players. All right. A real disgusting one here. Indianapolis heads to Houston to attempt to win a game with Riley Leonard at quarterback. And against this Houston defense, that is going to be a horrible time. CJ Stroud is interesting, but probably just a total average play. Now, the Colts defense has not been great of late, but Sauce Gardner is back, I believe. Right on time, but I'm pretty sure. He is out?
Yeah.
Okay.
He injured his Achilles last week in the game. I don't believe it was a tear, but I think they're just shutting him down for the year. So
good. A competent coaching staff. Basically,
none of their starting defense is healthy enough to play, even if they wanted to play them. It all lines up on paper, but the Texans also are not aggressive or particularly good on offense anymore for whatever reason. So it's certainly one of those cases of like very movable object and very stoppable force and which one wins. So I think Texans are viable. Most of them are pretty cheap as well, which is nice, but there's also absolutely a world where they're giving you like 12 points from Stroud and 6 points from Marks and 10 points from Nico. And you're like, why did I play this stack?
Just a disappointing, and they do need to win. So like there is a world where Houston gets the 1 seed, and that starts with them winning, but they also need Jacksonville to lose, and then they also need New England. No, I don't think they get the 1 seed, but they could win the division.
Yeah, win the division.
So they can get as high as the 3 seed, I believe.
Yep. Still
worth it. Still going to play it out. So Stroud, like you said, he's playable, but there's a sad floor that you could hit.
Yeah.
Now, here in our notes, just checking over here, Nick Chubb, 94 rush yards away from $250,000.
Yes.
Do you believe that they will force that? Like, do you think the Texans will then feed him the ball to a point to get to 94?
I think it's possible. I think their like ideal game plan is he mixes in with Marks. They run up the score to hilarious amounts as quickly as possible to kind of quote unquote end the game. And then they just hand the ball to Chubb over and over and over again to try and get him that. If it's not going that way, then I don't think they even touch that with a 10-foot pole. So I would say he's pretty risky, especially considering it's all rushing yards. So like that's not even really that valuable on DraftKings. He would need to break 100 for us to even care. So, he's thin, he's cheap, so it's not like backbreaking if it misses, but I probably personally won't chase it. It is just interesting to note for sure.
Yeah. And with Marks being back healthy, I think they'll just continue to do the gross thing of rotating through the running backs. I even think Jawar Jordan got some work last week too.
Yeah,
he had 8 attempts. Yeah, this is now suddenly a very gross backfield to try and gamble on. And on the opposite side, Jonathan Taylor is him, but so does everyone in the stadium knows where the ball's going to go.
Yeah. He's still interesting, though, because we'll talk about it later. He is in a 2-horse race between himself and James Cook for the rushing yards leader in the NFL this season. There is no close third place. They're at least 200 plus above third place, but they're within, I want to say, 40 yards of each other. Now, JT goes first, and James Cook is in the afternoon slate. So depending on what happens in this game, I don't know if the Colts are going to force feed him the ball and try and like run up his numbers as much as possible, but that is in the cards, and it's probably their best offensive game plan anyways, because they're starting Riley Leonard. So very interesting. He is a depressed price because of the defense they're facing and his mediocre play as of late. Man, it really did just the instant the buy hit, he was just gone, wasn't it?
Yeah, you dropped 50 on everyone's noggin and then just got tired.
Yeah. So I'm going to very specifically build a lineup where I have JT and Cook in it, and I'll be watching what JT does in the early window, because if he goes off, then Cook is also likely to go off in the late window, because the Bills coaching staff really wants James Cook to have the rushing yards league lead on the season for some reason and have like publicly announced that. So I'm going to have that lineup. Obviously, if JT does nothing, then I probably pivot away from Cook before the afternoon slate locks. But that's an angle that I'll be playing. I don't know if I'm going to play JT outside of that one lineup, though.
It seems a bit expensive for something that I don't feel very confident about.
Yeah.
And in regards
Chase Brown, like,
yes,
I'd rather play Chase Brown.
Exactly.
Or 200 more, but still.
And in regards to the rushing title, the Bills coaching staff are hilarious to me because they're doing that to justify the price tag of James Cook this offseason. That's all it is in my mind.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him, but James Cook is a player that's worth that money. So trying to just force feed him the rushing title is both a worthy attempt and also just kind of funny because you still need him to be good, and a little less reps at the end of the season is not so bad.
Yep.
Pass catchers, Nico Collins, go for it if you feel strongly. Wouldn't blame you. But like we said earlier, wouldn't be surprised if he just gets you 10 points for some reason.
Yep. But no sauce makes it at least more fun in theory. So I don't know if I'm going to stack with him. I might just have him as a one-off floating around in a lineup, to be honest. I don't personally believe in Stroud that much as a fantasy asset at quarterback. So I think Nico can get there any given week. He's kind of proven that, and he's not ridiculously expensive. So I'm definitely in on Nico. I think there's 3 other Texans pass catchers that could get you there, but I don't really want to play the game of which one. It's probably Higgins, but it was also Noel last week, and Christian Kirk unfortunately still exists on this team. Dalton Schultz still exists on this team, so they would have to go ridiculously pass heavy. I don't know if they would do that. So interesting to see, but not an angle that I'm going to be playing outside of Nico.
And then where are you at with the Colts pass catchers? Do you have any interest at all? Because I have none.
Nope. I don't think Riley Leonard's horrifically bad. I think his ability to run makes him more interesting than your average backup or third string quarterback. But against this defense that's trying to win, it could go very badly in this game. And, Pittman might be the recipient of some checkdowns, but checkdowns on a bad offense against a great defense doesn't sound very fun or a good use of my salary. So I'm probably just going to avoid them all. And if one of them happens to somehow beat me, then so be it.
Yeah. Even looking around, I don't even know if Alec Pierce is worth a dart throw as hey, maybe he just chucks it deep one time and Pierce lands in the end zone.
Yeah.
I think it's just all bad all the way down. I'm just clicking around to see what their price tag has gone since Phillip Rivers hopped in here. Yeah. And it's not good. Not good for the gang here. All right. Dalton Schultz, like you mentioned, is a shockingly relevant pass catcher in this offense.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised he's even close to 1,000 yards. Yeah. 3,800. Same as always. Fine. Just a tight end who will probably get you a decent amount of points. Now, Tyler Warren, I think I'm out on.
Yeah.
I think this one is a tad expensive, despite being probably someone Riley Leonard's going to look at a lot. I think it's going to be a hard focus on the Houston defense and those linebackers to make sure Tyler Warren doesn't beat them.
Yeah. I've just never once this year has Tyler Warren made me sorry that I didn't play him in DFS. I don't even know if he has a 20-point game under his belt at this point. No.
That's a negative.
He's a very talented in real life tight end, and I think he will continue to improve, and especially if they get their quarterback situation figured out and their offense a bit more fine-tuned, he will be a good fantasy tight end, but he just doesn't have a ceiling, and he's been kind of overpriced for what he gives you all year. So he's just someone that I'm eternally not really interested in at this point.
Yeah. And on defense, Texans defense, yep. Colts defense, nope.
I mean, honestly, probably not. But okay. Again, we're talking about a terrible offensive line for the Texans, a team that really does not try that hard on offense whatsoever, at least until they have to, and the Colts are not going to make them. So, this could just be like a 17-3 game, and I would not be shocked. And like,
Right.
you get 2 sacks and an accidental pick, and you've got like 3 points, and you're fine with it at like minimum price. So it's not something I'm actively going towards, but I don't think they're like unplayable either.
Yeah, I think as just like the very much punt defense, not a bad look. All right, Tennessee, Jacksonville, the rest of the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars do have a path. They do have a path for the 1 seed. If Denver loses and New England loses, Jacksonville has to win the game. They will be the 1 seed. So they will be playing everybody. And because it's a 1 o'clock game, they will need to win. They will need to play out the game to ensure they win. So that means Trevor Lawrence has the opportunity to do something really funny, which is go nuclear once again before the playoffs. I think he's a very interesting QB to play against a very, I don't know, they're average, this Tennessee Titans defense. They give up a lot of points, but it feels like they have some good players.
Yeah, they're below average, but they're not terrible, is what I would say.
I don't think you've ever been able to play Cam Ward once this season.
He's been okay lately.
He has been okay.
Like he's always cheap. He's not going to give you more than 20, but he also is not really giving you less than like 13, 14-ish. He's looking like better in real life. They seem to have semi-figured out what they're doing, at least with this current offensive personnel. So especially in a slate where a lot of the cheaper quarterbacks are just going to be like really disgusting bets that will make you want to vomit. Like he's fine, I think. I would play him over Shadur at the same cost.
Okay. Yes, I feel you there.
That's not a high bar, but
I think there's a lot to be said about these past 4 games and the future of Cam Ward. I know we're a DFS show, so it doesn't really matter. But at least next year, like we will see this regularly, I think. I think this is definitely in his wheelhouse of, or I should say his realm of possibilities. Like 2 touchdowns, no picks, no turnovers, and just like okay yardage. If he has a real wide receiving core, or I should say if the young guns figure it out, if Alec Iomano and Chimere Dike turn it around, I think it could be a pretty fun offense. But until then, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, though, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. ETN, love it. I think it's going to be a great play. Tony Pollard, he needs 66 more yards for a $250,000 bonus and another $200,000 for 2 TDs. 2 touchdown game for him he needs. That is a little less likely, but 66 yards.
Yeah.
That one does seem relevant. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. Did you know this?
It's all come after the bye, basically. Like he's been randomly good. Like he's been startable. He really just is. It's whether he scores a touchdown or not, but he's getting there on yardage week in and week out. He's obviously not really getting any pass catching because Tajay Spears just gets all of it out of the backfield. But from like a pure, he's just like, he's very much like a David Montgomery of last year type of play where it was like, if you get the touchdown, then you're feeling great because he was 50-something hundred. If you don't get the touchdown, then oh well. He's just kind of an average performer in your lineup, but I like him.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting one this week because, compared to 94 yards, 66 yards is way more of an achievable milestone. Yep. So that seems like an offense that will try to give Tony Pollard the ball a lot. No, any interest in Tootin or Spears or Allen?
Tootin is interesting, especially if the Jags get up big early, which is very possible with how their offense has been playing. Like you could see a world where he just has the majority of the backfield for like the entire second half and has also gotten a couple touches mixing in the first half. So there's probably some better, cheaper bets on the slate, but I also don't hate Tootin either. Is like especially if you're like trying to get really weird in like the Millie Maker, like a huge contest where you're gonna have to like just accidentally find the perfect lineup. Like he's one of those guys that just has the skill set to do that, and it's against an opponent that is very liable to give that up. So
yeah, Tajay Spears as an option, I'm out. I know we can catch the ball a ton, but I don't know. It doesn't seem as exciting. And then LaQuint Allen's the other one. I was curious. He had one attempt, so never mind. I take it back.
he's basically like DJ Dallas when he was on Seattle, where it's just like you're in for pass blocking, and that's all you'll ever do.
You're gonna make some huge plays on special teams and pass block.
Yep.
All right, this is the fun part. The wide receivers, mainly on the Jacksonville side.
Yeah.
Parker Washington, holy moly.
Yep.
I think this is a huge play. I think when you go Trevor Lawrence, you go Parker Washington first.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot more playmaking ability than Jacoby Myers, despite Jacoby Myers being a very good real wide receiver. I think this is kind of like the two snapshots of the two players. Jacoby Myers, target machine, will haul them all in if it's on target, but won't really break a play. Parker Washington can do that.
Yep. I'm still interested in Brian Thomas Jr. I'm probably coping, but in my head, I'm like, this is a perfect opponent to get him right. Like, just a hapless defense, end of the season. We're about to go into the playoffs. We need this guy to be good again. Like, let's just build the plane around BTJ. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am relatively interested in like building one lineup where that is the thesis that plays out in my mind of Trevor, BTJ. You can still, I think, pick one of Parker, Myers, or Strange to double stack with them and just say the Jaguars put up 30 plus in the first half and it's all on the back of the passing game and just see what happens. But he's probably the least likely to do that of the other three that I mentioned. So take that with a grain of salt, but he's also probably going to be pretty low owned and pretty unplayed this week as well. So
you have far more optimism and grace to give Brian Thomas Jr. than I do, because I am OUT out. I am done with him. I do think you're absolutely right. This is an option, an opportunity for him to really right the ship, but I think we'll probably see more of that maybe in the playoffs, if at all, because teams will be zeroing in on, I'll call them the possession guys, giving BTJ maybe a little more room to work. Chimera DK,
he's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Same reason why you like him, more cheap. They'll get you hopefully a solid floor. I'm pretty sure the 1 week I was excited to play him was his punt return fumble and then 0 targets for the whole game. So that was cool.
But he can always get you a special teams touchdown, and those points count. So
they absolutely do.
If he gets that and a receiving touchdown, then you've got a 20-point game and you're skipping to the bank. So I think he's perfectly viable at his cost.
I like Ian Manor. Yeah. He's fine. Not very exciting, but fine.
Yeah. I said on Blue Sky recently that like I hope the Titans draft 2 like really good receivers in this draft, because like DK and Iomanor are like an excellent wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 for a good offense, but they're like an abysmal wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2.
Yeah, like Ian Manor has so much more to learn. I think he's like only 20 years old, maybe 21 years old. Yeah. He's super young and really just raw as like a receiver. And having him be the one to start is just not a like recipe for success. Yeah. Especially with a rookie quarterback too. So in time,
Yep.
But you're absolutely right. They need some help there. Tight end, Gunnar Helm, gone. So that means it's Bretton Strange and Jigga Conquo.
I am very
happen.
interested in Chig.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year. He always does this.
Every year. Yep. Like every year he does this, he just becomes like the lead target in the last 4 weeks of the season. His only competition is out for the game. They're going to have to throw because Jacksonville's trying to win. Like, he's cheap. You don't have to stack him mercifully. So I think Chig is one of my favorite plays. I think Bretton Strange is probably like in a secondary tier of like good plays, but it's a little bit of a thinner bet with so many mouths to feed. But when he gets there, he gets there. So perfectly viable. I think both are in play for sure.
Honestly, no more notes because that's exactly what I feel. I think both players are fine. They're cheap enough. I think they can fit in pretty much any roster unstacked. Nothing to dislike between the two players. Defenses, Jags are 4K.
I'll play
Man. You're playing them anyway?
Yeah. Their defense is kind of low-key been like part of the reason that they've been so successful lately. Like everyone's focusing on Trevor, but they have also had some pretty good defensive performances. Like they're relatively healthy outside of the corner position, and Tennessee's not really positioned to be able to take advantage of that. So good against the run. They cause the most turnovers in football by a lot. So definitely they could easily give you double digits, I think. And there's a lot of savings to be had. So I don't think spending up on defense is necessarily going to like be impossible to do this week like it has been in the past.
Yeah. No, I think this Jags defense is going to be the reason why they have any shot to really go deep in the playoffs. And, the offense, as long as it stays competent, honestly, a pretty scary team to face off.
It's weird to say.
I know. Don't play the Titans defense. They're very, very, very cheap, but
this is not your normal version of Trevor Lawrence. This is upgraded Trevor Lawrence, and upgraded Trevor Lawrence is not making mistakes like this regular
is advanced T-Law.
Yeah. This is second iteration of Trevor Lawrence.
Oh god. This game's gonna be interesting. Green Bay heads to Minnesota, and see these two names. Well, I lied. No, just kidding. This player is playing.
Yeah.
Inexplicably. I thought it was his throwing hand that was broke.
It is.
Okay.
He's playing through
everybody. Here we go. Kevin O'Connell is cooking again. He doesn't care if his quarterbacks are made out of glass. They're just going in. Can you hold the shield? You're going to war, JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
But welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
As a Cardinals fan, I can tell you right now, do not play a single Packer. Don't think about it. I don't care if someone's talented and the guys ahead of them are gone. Do not do it. He is woefully bad. Like, he is a running back more than a quarterback.
They don't forget that this player, while Kyler was hurt, they're thinking, "Oh, is he gonna take the job away? Let's see what happens here." Well, he threw four passes last week, one of which was intercepted. So truly, all you need to know about Clayton Tune is that he is simply not viable for the NFL.
The Vikings defense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anyone you're playing in this game legitimately?
On either side? No.
Yes.
No, there's simply just not a shot I could play anybody with confidence. Like even Emmanuel Wilson, who was going to be someone I was like kind of looking forward to if it was Malik Willis.
Yeah.
No.
Like, he might sit out too. It might be Chris Brooks.
And then someone said Ty Chandler is going to get the main looks this week.
I mean, Jordan Mason is healthy, so that'd be weird if it was Ty Chandler. Aaron Jones is for sure out, but I'm pretty sure Jordan Mason is definitely healthy. But I mean, they could still give it to Ty Chandler, but if it was just Jordan Mason, I'd be interested, not like no, I don't think he's like a smash play, but like he is at least talented enough if he got the whole backfield to do something. And
Right.
Packers defense is sitting most of their starters, and I don't know. Vikings running back is like the only spot. Not the only spot. We have to talk about Justin Jefferson again.
No, we don't.
Yes,
I don't
we
think.
do.
I don't think. Okay. All right. Sorry. We'll finish up running backs first, and then we'll argue about Jetters.
Just Mason is interesting if he's getting all the work, but if we don't know if he's getting all the work, he's not interesting whatsoever. So that might be like very risky to play because they're probably not going to announce it ahead of time. It's like, hey, Mason's the lead back today.
And even when he is the lead back, like in the games that Aaron Jones is out, like Xavier Scott has gotten a bunch of work. I feel like they don't necessarily want it to be just Mason, which is interesting because they traded for him.
Yeah.
And, they paid not a zero amount of dollars to get him.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those seasons, right? They are inexplicably 8-8 Minnesota. They have a chance to finish above 500 against Clayton Tune. Yeah. And that's just where the NFL is in 2025.
It's wild that the entire NFC North could finish above 500.
The anti-AFC North.
Yeah. Or anti-NFC South.
Or the NFC South.
Let's donate a couple. Let's swap divisions.
All right. Fine. Let's talk Justin Jefferson. I see now. He's 5,800.
If it was Max Brosmer, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it is JJ McCarthy. He is not a good quarterback, but he is competent. It hasn't statistically been better, but he has looked better since coming back. That's why they're winning so many games in a row all of a sudden. Like he's not just like laughably bad anymore. He just isn't on the same page with Jefferson. But one thing also, 947 receiving yards. You can bet that they probably want to get him to 1,000. So that's at least 53. 2 touchdowns is horrifically scary, but I think this could easily be a game against the backup Green Bay Packers where they're just like, okay, McCarthy, you're playing pitch and catch with Jefferson all day. We're going to get him open. You're going to look at him first on every route. And he could just go for 30. Is he going to? Probably not, but he could. And at 5,800, I'm okay with could, because he also could give you 18 and you're totally fine with that at that price tag.
Well, what's crazy too is that I don't even know if I'm at 12 per se at 5,800. It's not my favorite. It wouldn't be the best, but man, it has been so horrible to watch Justin Jefferson be just visibly upset every week.
Yep.
And I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I think trying to get them to 1,000 is just enough.
And again, if the Packers were playing their starters, I would have no interest. If it was Max Brosmer, I would have no interest. We're in a dome. We're in Minnesota. McCarthy's back. Whether he's capable of doing a truly great game is probably unlikely, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. He was a first-round rookie pick. There is some talent there, and you can see it at times. So, and their running game is not great, so they can't really just rely on that either. They're going to have to throw. So I'm not saying play Addison because I don't think you should. I don't think you should play Hawkinson. Actually, Hawkinson might be out anyways, but even if he was in, I don't think there's any other pass catchers in this game on either side I'm interested in, but Jefferson is just simply too good to ignore at that price tag in this opportunity for me.
All right. You convinced me. But everyone else is just a full fade, just ignore. The Minnesota Vikings defense is very, 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 very good. They stopped a mostly healthy Detroit Lions offense. Their O-line is in shambles, so that's why Goff dropped the ball 5 times.
Yep.
But this is not the Detroit Lions. They are not strong enough. Clayton Tune does not jerk off. Don't get tempted to play Matthew Golden at 3,800.
Doesn't matter how many Packers wide receivers are sitting and how many talented ones are still playing. don't care. Like, just it's Clayton Tune. Even if it's Malik Willis, I don't know if I'm particularly that interested because they're just going to blitz the crap out of them. And I don't know if I trust Malik Willis against an aggressive blitzing defense with most of his top weapons gone.
And himself being a little banged up.
Yep.
Yeah, hard pass for me. Yeah, Hawk is out, leaving Josh Oliver to be the main option here. I did have a couple lineups with him last week. Oops.
Yeah.
Pass. And same thing. Verbatim what we said about the wide receivers, tight ends, pass. I don't even think. No, John Fitzpatrick's on the IR. No.
Yeah, just pass on everything except for defenses.
Yeah. Defense. Truly, there's no way.
Yeah, because when they made the salaries, it wasn't certain that the Packers were not playing their starters. So
that's a good point. Yeah, so this is like your most highly rostered, I think, player across the entire slate is my guess.
Yep. It's probably going to be the most popular defense on the slate, and I think it should be.
And it will probably not disappoint.
You're going to get sacks for sure, and probably at least one pick.
Probably a fumble.
Yeah.
All right. Dallas heads to MetLife Field against the New York Football Giants. Allegedly, Dak Prescott is playing in this game.
For some reason.
I do not know how long he will be playing in this game, but Jerry Jones has said Dak will play at least some of it.
I wish he wasn't, because Joe Milton would be so interesting in this spot.
I think he still is anyway.
You'd play him even though he's not guaranteed to like give you a full game?
No. Just in my brain, I go, man, how cool would it be if like Joe Milton, say Dak plays like a drive or something really stupid, and the rest of the game is Joe Milton. Like that seems fun to me.
Yeah.
Between him and then Kevontae Turpin.
Yeah.
Just seeing how fast you can run, how far you can throw.
I mean, it could be exactly what the Patriots did last year, where in week 18 they were like, yeah, Drake May's starting, and then he played one snap, and then they sat him for Joe Milton the rest of the game. And I was like, sick. I definitely had him in DFS, but thanks for that, Patriots. So could be similar. I don't know. I don't think Dak has any kind of like starting streak. He's injured too much to really be involved in that, but they're claiming they're going to play starters. I don't know if I trust it enough. And also, like, they have two wide receivers that like are so ridiculously talented and also just could not care less about this season now. So I don't know if I want to play them anyways, even though they're in a spot where they should smash. I just don't know if I want to do it.
And I don't think the salary really lets us gamble on that either, right? Like 7,300, 7,200 between Lamb and Pickens. That, like, I could see this game truly being, all right, Dak in, you're out, whatever. Or like first quarter, Cowboys are playing starters and they get benched because like we're not getting anybody hurt for next season. And Lamb and Pickens have like 3 catches for 20 yards each.
Yep. So
at 7K, no thank you, pass. Now, on the Giants side, Dart is playing.
Yeah.
Again, I think you absolutely can play him.
Yeah. It's less fun because his top 2 options are out in this game. Wandale and Theo Johnson are both out. But it's also the Cowboys defense, so it might not really matter. It's more of like, I don't know if he's stackable, but the rushing upside and just the lack of quality of the Dallas defense is so good that I think you should just play Dart anyways. And he's not that expensive, so I think he's a good play. I don't know how much like true upside there is without his weapons, but I think he's got a very safe floor with some upside built in for sure. I think he's a great cash game quarterback at worst.
Yeah, I think just having the ability to score 2 touchdowns on the ground is enough to say it's fine. No Wandale, it's okay. I'm not too worried. And for what it's worth, he does like to pass the ball to Tyrone Tracy and to Devin Singletary, not as much, but at least there's some hope to pass the ball a little bit. And then we'll talk about wide receivers in a second, because not sure if we can ever trust Darius Slayton, but he's at least a name you could say out loud that says, okay, he can play football.
Yep.
He was kind of sad last week. That's a bummer. So maybe not. Maybe Tracy's not as exciting. But again, Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah.
Kind of a good sell for anything.
He just didn't score a touchdown, really. Like, that's all. He got the workload. He got the yardage. He just didn't score the touchdown, and Singletary did. So,
yeah, pick one. I would say choose your poison. If you want something a little cheaper, save money, you can go Singletary. I do think Tyrone Tracy will still get the bulk of the work, most opportunities. So, both fine. But here we go.
Now it's time for the best conversation.
All righty. All right, buckle in, folks. It's the rookies over in Dallas. Malik Davis and Javonte Williams are out. So that means we have the rookie from Texas or the rookie from Clemson, right? Phil Maffa is from Clemson. Is he Syracuse?
Syracuse.
You're right, Syracuse. Clemson was... No, he is Clemson because LeQuint Allen was Syracuse. It doesn't matter because Phil Maffa is apparently still on IR, but he's questionable. I think he can be activated still.
But also, like, if you read the blurb from DraftKings, if you've listened to some of the talk on Jaden Blue, he will be the main back, according to what Dallas is reporting. So I think Maffa might be a thorn in the side of Jaden Blue, but also, like, he has not played this entire season. Phil Maffa hasn't. Like, he's been on IR the entire time up until right this second. So it would be very weird for them to have him on IR for 17 weeks, bring him back for week 18, and give him a heavy workload. So I think it's going to be pretty heavy Jaden Blue. I don't know. Do they have Deuce Vaughn still? Like, might he factor into some silliness?
They don't. I don't know where he went. They have Izzy, though.
Interesting.
I don't know if he's active.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be
Abanikanda.
Yeah. It's probably going to be Blue, probably more Hunter Lupke than we would like. This also makes me really think that Dak is not playing that much because he's going to have this running game for the whole game. So I don't know. I think Jaden Blue's very interesting. He's very cheap. The Giants are very bad defensively. So Blue is probably going to be relatively popular. I think I'm okay with that. I think he has game-breaking speed. I don't know if the talent is matched with it, but he at least has speed. And sometimes that's all that you need against bad defenses in a Week 18 matchup that no one cares about. So I like him.
Yep, that was the only last point I wanted to add to. He is just fast as all heck, so he has the opportunity to make, those Trevion Henderson type of plays. Just one play, get you there.
Yep.
Wideouts, like we already talked about Landon Pickens, so that leaves us with Darius Slayton, Ryan Flournoy. Isaiah Hodgins? Yeah, no thank you.
I mean, he gets targets when Wandale is out.
I know I should take it back a second because he was like not ignored when Wandale was out.
And that was with Jameis, I believe. That wasn't even with Dart.
Yes, these were both with Jameis.
Yeah. So, but I guess Wandale was there for both those games. Jameis just decided Hodgins was more interesting for reasons unknown.
Okay.
One of him and Slayton will probably have a good game, but I couldn't tell you which one. Like, it probably should be Slayton, but Slayton's just been bad all year and injured all year. So Flournoy is kind of interesting to me as well because he's going to play with the starters, but he might also play with the backups. And like Joe Milton to Flournoy sounds fine to me, and he's cheap. So he might like middle the road and like get some starter snaps and all the backup snaps if they eventually put in backups. So he's interesting to me at 38.
All right, I'm convinced. I'm probably gonna play like $1 or $2 lineup that's Joe Milton, Ryan Flournoy, Kavonte Turpin.
It's so fun on paper.
I don't know if this is actually worth playing, but I do think he might just get normal. See, the problem is he gets too many normal reps as like an offensive weapon, so maybe they don't play him a ton.
He's so weird. Like, he's also not young. He's like 28.
Yeah, I was
which,
gonna say he's like approaching 30.
yeah, like he's not like a young rookie or second year player just like trying to earn snaps. He's just like a random gadget Tavon Austin clone that they're just use for some reason. So he probably would play again. Like, I don't think he's like that essential to their plans. So I think he's also perfectly fine.
For those really, really intense gamblers there, Kevontae Turbin's right there for you. Tight end's not as exciting. Jake Ferguson, same exact conversation with every other starter on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
What to make of it, you really can't tell. Theo Johnson's out, so that does leave Dan Bellinger as the main pass catcher or pass catching tight end for the Giants.
Fairly interesting.
He was better a while ago. He was good for a little bit, and then I know he injured his eye, I think, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And he's been kind of not as great since. But
he has enough athleticism, enough chops, and they have no other tight ends that will ever take work from them, and they're also down Wandale, so like I don't think he's getting 8 targets, but he could give you 4 and a red zone target, and you're skipping to the bank. So I think he's a fine punt tight end, but probably just a punt tight end.
Yeah, so don't get too excited about it. But at least, oh man, Thomas Fedone, I forgot about that name. See him next year, maybe. Defenses, nope.
Yeah. Both offenses will probably make mistakes, but they might also both let the other team score 40. So I'll probably just avoid it.
I think it's valiant to try and go to zig when others are zagging. I don't know if these are the defense I would try to do that with, though.
Nope.
All right. Miami and New England. This game is unfortunately very relevant for the Patriots, as with a bunch of other of the AFC teams in the hunt. If Denver loses and New England wins, they are the 1 seed with the bye. So they will be playing to a point that they can say, all right, we are comfortably winning this game. So, folks, that means Drake May will be in this game for most of it because they play at the same time as Denver.
I wouldn't say most of it. I'd say maybe
they'll be playing for like a half, yeah.
Because the Dolphins are pretty much waving the white flag on the season.
What? You don't think Quinn Ewers can rise above and beat the Patriots at home?
I sure don't, especially with no Devon Achane.
Yeah, that's kind of the burying the lead a little bit, because no Achane means this offense is done for.
Yeah, no Waller. Waddle's questionable.
Waddle's going to sit. There's no way.
Something tells me he's magically not going to be able to do it. So you're talking about Quinn Ewers with backup running backs and their backup wide receivers against a Patriots team that has to win. Like, no freaking thank you.
Yeah, it seems like a bad time, a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
Yeah, those aforementioned running backs, Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, are going to be the 2 players if you really, for whatever reason, feel compelled to play running backs against a Patriots defense who has been a little worse against running backs with the departure of Milton Williams, but still has been a solid defense, and they have been as good as anybody could ask for, honestly.
Yeah. I think Wright is a little more interesting than Gordon just because any pass work would probably go to him, I would imagine. He's not going to see Achane level targets by any means, and he doesn't have Achane level efficiency, but I don't know. I think there's better plays than him, but I don't think you're like fully crazy if you just try and luck into him getting there, but like I would rather play Jaden Blue for 100 more than Jalen Wright.
And something to note, Breece Hall, who I think is still a much better running back than Jalen Wright, really only made his bet like he was only worthwhile in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
of that last game. So, I don't see a path really for an excellent game for Jalen Wright.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen in this game, to be fair. Like, Patriots could just yank their starters by halftime on defense, and then you're at least feeling a little better about it. And it's not like the Dolphins have anyone to sit right for. So, again, I can see it. He doesn't make me excited by any stretch, but I think like one team with him is good to just in case, but he's not fun. It's not fun to look at and be like, yeah, that could work.
That's definitely the best way to put it. Henderson and Stevenson, you are hoping that they score in the first half.
Yep.
Because there's no shot they are running them ragged towards the second end of this game.
Yeah.
That does mean like Darnus Johnson, excuse me, and Elijah Mitchell's on this offense right now.
Yeah.
He signed their practice squad earlier this week.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that he could be elevated and could play in this game.
Can I make you mad real quick?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you'll be mad because you're a Patriots fan, but he signed for the same amount of money to the Chiefs as the Panthers signed Rico Dowdle to. And if the Chiefs had just signed Rico Dowdle instead, like, think about how much better that offense would have been.
There's a lot of teams across the NFL that are like kicking themselves for not just signing Rico Dowdle for like effectively the veteran minimum.
$3.5 million.
It's unbelievable, and the disrespect is pretty insane.
Yep.
Anywho, wide receivers. Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has a few things going for him in terms of incentives. Let's see if we wrote it down. Yeah. He needs 8 catches, which is a little tricky because he has to do it in one half of football. And then 30 yards.
Yeah.
So Diggs will get that 30 yards for sure. Yep. Will he pepper them with targets? Probably. As long as May's in, probably.
Yeah.
Even if Josh Dobbs comes in and Diggs is still out there, yeah, they'll try to get him to 8 probably.
Yeah. I mean, like, they still have to win, but, they're not going to meet much resistance. So I'm sure McDaniels can easily just be like, all right, we're just going to do 2 screens per drive for 4 drives, and then you're out of there.
Yeah. Let's just get some tap passes going.
Yep. Yeah, a couple.
Make it easy for us.
Swing passes.
And outside of that, the rest of both teams is kind of gambling.
Yeah, it's just crap shoots everywhere.
Kyle Williams, Efton Chisholm III. These are going to be the New England wide receivers in the second half that are probably going to get the most work.
Yeah.
How much do we care about that? Very little, but they are cheap. Chisholm did score last week, so if you somehow played him at 3,000, good job. I'm very proud of you, and you are a New England Patriot fan because that was his only 2 catches of the season last week, one of which being a touchdown.
Yep.
So, I would. Yeah, your call. Theo Weiss scored.
He's
Luther Burden's college teammate.
Yeah. Like, there's probably going to be one Dolphin receiver that has like a fine game because Mike McDaniel does still run a good offense, even though it's got a clown at its helm at all times. But good luck figuring out which one. It could just be Malik Washington. It could be a Nick Westbrook-Akine game because reasons. It could be Weiss. Like, I'm just not interested, but one of them probably will get there. There's no way to know who it's going to be.
And that's that. Tight ends, kind of the same thing. Hunter Henry going to be good until he's pulled.
Yeah.
However, Greg Dulcich had 6 targets last week, and that annoyed the crap out of me as I played Darren Waller in a bunch of places.
Yep.
So now he is relevant and potentially a good play if you want to, if you really believe in the Dulcich Renaissance.
I think Henry's also a good play. I wrote down that he needs 5 more receptions to also get a sizable bonus. So nothing crazy. Again, they could all be screens. They could be easy little slants for nothing, but 5 receptions is still 5 receptions. That one definitely feels more doable than Diggs' 8. So could see him getting fed the ball early. And all it takes is the Dolphins being silly for him to get a touchdown on one of those, and then you've got a great game out of him. So I think both tight ends are very playable, even though no one else is in this game.
And at 4,500, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
Defenses, you could probably play the Pats.
Yeah. Patriots for sure.
Yeah. Dolphins, don't do it. Alrighty, this is going to be a quick one, I think. Arizona facing off against the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are facing off against the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, however, have been playing against themselves the entirety of the season, players versus coaching staff, because they have to figure out what's going on with Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
But the Rams are apparently not benching starters. They're going to play their starters, even though the highest they can get is the 5th seed, and their seeding will be determined based on the winner of the 49ers and Seattle game.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing this. This is something that can easily turn around on Saturday and be like, all right, we're playing Jimmy G or Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. I feel like McVay has lied about this in years past. I would have to do some digging to confirm that, but something tells me that he's playing mind games and like is going to force the Cardinals to like game plan for their starters all week, and then they might play like a drive just to like keep their rhythm, and then they're done. Because I think Stafford has like some games played, like stuff that matters for like all time and crap like that. But
okay,
I don't like the fact that they're thinking about playing Devontae Adams is just like so bizarre to me. Of like he's an over 30-year-old receiver coming off of a bad hamstring injury. Like just let him rest until the playoffs. Like why would you bring him back? Why would you play Kyron? Why would you play even Corum? They're both questionable. Like, why would you play any of them? And why would you play Puka? Because Puka gets injured like clockwork, unfortunately. So I don't understand it. I think it's fake, but you kind of have to build one lineup on the off chance it's not fake, because it's a very lovely matchup.
I will be very okay if I see the Rams go off and I don't have them anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's so risky and it's so silly that McVay will not bench his starters.
Yeah.
Because they're all old, man, like, except for Puka, right? Like Stafford is having a great year. I guess you can keep him in to have an MVP style game and then have him potentially earn an MVP honor.
Yeah.
But you're already kind of like stalling out a little bit towards the end of this season. Like back-to-back losses right now feels pretty awful.
Could be another reason why they play, though. It's just like this is a basically guaranteed win. Like Stafford's going for MVP, like you said. They need to right the ship before they get into a tough playoff matchup, no matter what. So I could see it not being fake, and it's just Puka against this Cardinals secondary and no one else, and maybe Kyron and Corum both play, maybe only one of them play. Like could be Jarquez Hunter finally. I don't know. They probably would still play Ronnie Rivers over him because they love Ronnie Rivers for some reason. So the Rams are definitely one of those teams where like you really have to keep your eye out on the news, because I think they're worth playing if the indication is that they're keeping their starters in. But it's like you said, it is a gamble. It very well could blow up in your face. Jimmy G has some contract incentives for every game he plays, but I think most backup quarterbacks have those types of incentives. So I don't think it's necessarily something the Rams would like go out of their way to get him, but he does get some kicker money if he plays 25% of the snaps, and then it goes up if he plays 50% of the snaps, and then either one of them double if they win the game, which is pretty likely. So very interesting to keep your eye on.
And if Jimmy G does play, at least that gives the backup pass catching options a little hope.
Yeah.
I don't think Stetson Bennett gives you that same type of upside if you're trying to play Xavier Smith or Kanata Mumpfield.
Yeah.
Just looking at the running backs real quick, like I said, Kyron, Blake Corum, both questionable. I don't see how Corum plays. That he got punched directly in the ankle. I don't know if you saw the highlight, but someone was trying to knock the ball out and they just missed completely, just straight up punched him in the ankle. He didn't return in that game.
Ball for the ankle.
Hey, this is the Falcons defense. You don't know what's going on back there. Just out here punching.
Just somebody's out there somewhere. I don't know where this fist is going to land, but it's going to hit.
This is going to be their problem and not mine.
Yep.
So we'll see if they play. This is absolutely game time decision. Kind of watch what the news is saying.
Yep.
Michael Carter, Amari DeMarcado, pass. I'm good. I'm done with this. It's been happening all season. Neither of them are good enough to really put in your roster.
Yeah. We did kind of pass over the headline though of he finally failed. Rip in peace, Jacoby Brissett. He's failed 2 consecutive weeks, but I'm still playing him.
But he's back in there, baby.
Marvin Harrison's out, so you know what that means.
It's the Michael
time
Wilson
to load
show.
up old reliable. It's Jacoby, it's Michael Wilson, and it's Trey McBride, regardless of price, and you just smash the button and you play them, and they work.
I cannot believe this dude's about to throw for 3. Like, he could have easily thrown for 4,000 yards this season if he played the whole year.
It's kind of crazy. Kyler played 4 games, I think. 5.
Yeah, 5 games.
Like, it doesn't feel like it, but like, this has been Brissett's team for the majority of the year, and that's
look at this run, man. I know. We could legitimately have an entire podcast about Jacoby Brissett's season.
Yeah, like
because of just every single bit has been unbelievable.
If we had a highlight reel of this show, it would just be every week just saying, "Play it again, say the line, Bart." But I think you just do it. Like, yes, yeah, especially if the Rams actually do care and play their starters and the Cardinals are playing from behind, like, yes, please. That's the best time for Jacoby Brissett.
That's how we're getting Trey McBride to further pad his reception, all-time reception record.
But yeah, no Cardinals running backs for me either.
Yeah, I don't think I want to play either of these guys. Like one of Ronnie Rivers or Jarquez Hunter will be good, but considering he has just been not used all season, I guess it's Ronnie Rivers.
Yep,
that's boring.
I would say maybe pay attention to if they elevate a practice squad running back on Saturday, because that might give indication as to whether Kyron and or Corum are missing, because I don't think they would want to go in with just Rivers and Hunter. Hunter will definitely be activated unless he's just truly horrifically bad, and we were all very wrong in the prospect scouting process. But yeah, keep an eye out. This game is basically, on the Rams side, it's just watch the news, have a lineup shell built out just in case. Once the news hits, make your decision either way. I think the Cardinals trio, you just play no matter what, even if it's not with Rams at all.
Yeah. And we'll just quickly glance over Michael Wilson, also known as Jerry Rice. Also on the verge of 1,000 yards, which is, again, it feels like a fever dream of a season for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like, they have lost all of these games, but Michael Wilson, Jacoby Brissett, and Trey McBride have been phenomenal.
Yep.
Sucks. It just sucks. I guess I'll glance. Nah, you already just said it. Exactly what Tim just said. Build a shell, keep up the news, and then pivot and react accordingly. Trey McBride, 7,500. Still play him.
Yep. Smash
it
the
does
button.
not. Yep.
Terrence Ferguson is interesting because I think whether the starters play or not, he'll get work. I think he might be like the one young player that they're just like, yeah, you need more play time. Like, you need more snaps. So, like, they use tight ends more than any team in the league. He's gotten there on touchdowns the last 2 weeks. Especially if Adams misses, he could get there again on touchdowns. Like, I think he's regardless of what happens and who's playing, I think Ferguson is like a fine punt tight end at 27.
Yeah, and I can absolutely see it being a game he gets way more work just to see what he has. Rest Colby, just let Ferguson, Davis Allen, I guess Nick Vannett. I didn't know he was on this team. Let them do the three T sets and
possibly Tyler Higbee off of IR.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Keep another one to just watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to play either defense.
Nah.
You could play the Rams, but we know who's at quarterback. We know Jacoby's out there.
Yeah.
He's gonna sling it.
He'd either get you 2 interceptions or 0. So it's kind of a gamble on which one happens.
All right, let's move on. Let's head over to the AFC East, where this game is going to be over before it started. I legitimately don't even know if I want to play Josh Allen in this one. You can, but I don't think I will.
I think this game literally comes down to one player. We talked about it earlier.
Yep.
If Jonathan Taylor puts up a good game, I think they play James Cook. They get him the rushing record. If Taylor puts up a lot of yards, then that could also mean a lot of yards for Cook, which is great. Ty Johnson needs like 57 receiving yards to get a bonus, which is interesting, but I don't know if that's really worth actioning on. And that's it for the entire game for both sides for any position. Like, just skip. Just be done.
Sounds good. I don't want to do anything else with it. The only thing I'll say is just Josh Allen is nursing a foot injury. So, again, if you're thinking about it, don't. And we can just move on over.
He's going to start because he has like a start streak that they love. And then they're going to yank him like they do every year in week 18. And it's going to be Mitch Trubisky.
So if you feel like Mitch Trubisky is going to get you there, sure.
Which he could. It is the Jets. They can't sit their starters because they don't have starters. They're already playing their bench.
I will say this. The Jets do not have an interception all season. This would be the first time in NFL history that has not happened, or that has happened.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye out. Just tune in once in a while to check on that Mitch Trubisky box score to say, is he helping prevent history from happening, or is he going to enshrine the Jets in the Hall of Shame?
I could see the Bills being both good enough and petty enough to just run the ball every time so that there's no chance at an interception.
I can see absolutely that happening.
Like less than 10 pass attempts on the game for Trubisky.
Oh my God. Yep. That's going to happen for sure.
Play the Bills defense, press the skip button, pay attention to JT if you want to play Cook. If you don't play Cook, don't play anyone.
Done. Let's get to a good game. The Detroit Lions facing the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Now, this one is interesting because I don't believe Chicago can get the 1 seed. They needed to beat San Fran last week for that to happen, and it barely missed. So they're pretty locked in at that like 2-3 seed.
Yeah. I don't think they can change their seeding at all, actually, like regardless of what happens.
I think
they're just 3, period.
You're absolutely right, because then the loser of the San Fran Seattle game is 2, so they're just going to be 3. Theoretically, they could play nobody, and it doesn't matter. This is just pure rivalry, just like love of the game type of game.
Yep.
So I think everyone's playing So I think we're playing all the players that we like to play. So Caleb Williams, get in there, do your thing. Jared Goff, he's going to need to do way better than he has been playing.
Yeah.
Well, just kidding. I guess he absolutely lit up Pittsburgh. Oh, that's right. That was a weird game. That's right.
Yeah.
He did that all in like the fourth quarter. But yeah, playable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you care anything else with the QBs?
No, I think this is one of the games where both teams are trying. Pretty much all their starters are playing. You should be overweight on this game in your lineups because it's at least more predictable than a lot of the other games are, and the pieces are better than a lot of the other games are.
Yep. So all the running backs, the famous, just like the names you'll know and love.
Yep.
Play him to your heart's desire in terms of whatever iteration you want, whether it be Gibbs, who has been kind of disappointing past few weeks. He could be great again. Doesn't really matter. Swift, Monangai, love them both. I thought he was closer to 1,000 yards than he really was, but still totally fine.
Yep.
Receivers, the only one that I want to watch is Luther Burden. He's allegedly healthy. I know he had a quad injury at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
Came back and said he was just tired. I don't blame him. I think that may be like the most snaps he's ever played. Definitely like the most like routes he's ever played.
Yeah.
And he came through like in a huge way. So if he's healthy, I'm playing him for sure.
Okay.
I'm like sending him right into my lineup.
He's definitely healthy. I think Rome is the 50-50 one.
Rome is almost certainly a game 10 decision, looking towards doubtful because I think
they're locked in the playoffs. Like they don't need to get Rome back on the field in a technically meaningless game. Like that, it would be dumb of them to do, but respectfully, it is also the Bears, so dumb is certainly in the cards, unfortunately. So we'll see, but I would probably guess Rome doesn't play, and that makes Burden an ultra smash and DJ Moore a perfectly fine play.
Yep. On the other half of this game, Amon-Ra St. Brown is hurt. I think he's probably going to play because he's just a psycho like that. He just plays through everything.
Yeah, Dan Campbell said he's probably playing.
Yeah,
so
play him if you want to. I don't hate Jameson Williams this game. I don't hate Isaac Tesla this game.
Yeah,
I know that's weirder, but he is getting more action.
Yeah,
like he is not just a touchdown junkie. He is at least getting some things going on.
And he's actually catching touchdowns still, even when he's getting more targets. So
it's truly amazing.
They're kind of using him like the Sam Laporta de facto at this point because all the tight ends are just bad / gone. Yeah. So he's kind of just getting Sam Laporta routes and it's working for him. Yeah, I think every pass catcher in this game that you would think about playing, you should play, whether in the same lineup or just spread throughout however many lineups you make.
Yeah, easy enough. The tight ends, we don't care about the Detroit tight ends.
No.
But we do care about Colson Loveland.
Yep.
I think he's great. I think he's going to be another widely played option. He's at 3,900. I love it. The floor is lower. Floor is like 5 points, but I think as this game turns into kind of a shootout, he will be needed and he will come through for you.
Yep.
Don't play defense.
Please
my recommendation. All right. This game's going to be gross. The Los Angeles Chargers are playing the Denver Broncos in Denver, but the Chargers have already announced that they're benching all their starters.
Yeah.
So it's time. It's time to unleash Trey Lance onto the world once again.
Man, I want to. But
it's so tempting, except Denver needs to win.
Yeah, the Broncos defense in a must-win versus Trey Lance. Which way do you go? I don't know. I think both have great arguments for them.
It's really funny because Trey Lance has the ability to be an awesome fantasy quarterback. Yep. He has all the tools, and he's done it before. Will he do it against this defense? My gut says no, but I really want to play him. I really do, because of the upside.
We haven't seen him in an actually game planned offense built around him in what, 4 years, 3 years? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think it's 3 years.
Like him and Anthony Richardson are just going to be perpetual like backups of like, well, when they play, you probably should start them. And like, he's cheap enough as well where I think he'd probably play him and like accept that he could throw 3 picks and fumble, and that's in the range of outcomes, but he could also rush for 75 yards and a touchdown and get you 25 points and you're skipping for joy. So I think you just accept that the downside is tremendous, but the upside is also too tremendous to fade.
And I think that is going to really dictate like a couple of Millie Maker lineups. Is this game truly? Bo Nix, sure. I don't know. I don't know how much he's gonna play, but
hear me out.
I'm listening. I'm ready.
Do you remember the Broncos Week 18 game in 2025, or I guess 2024?
Where they smoked the Chiefs?
Yes.
That You're
was
saying
the exact same scenario. The Broncos had to win. They were facing a team that could not be bothered to do anything in that game. I'm looking up the stats right now. So give me a couple minutes, but
because I think he at least had 3 touchdowns in the first half.
If I remember correctly, he was the highest scoring player of all fantasy in that game of any position. But I want to make absolute certain that I'm right on that.
All right, while you're looking that up real quick, we have a couple of running back decisions to make, because while Archie Harvey and the Broncos are starting, he's absolutely a good play here. Omari Hampton out, Kamani Vidal questionable, Hassan Haskins questionable. That leaves us with Jarrett Patterson and does that say Royce Freeman? Oh my gosh!
Talk about a jump scare.
And Amar Johnson. That is okay. So if neither of these players can play, I think Vidal is almost certainly out because I think it's a neck injury. So I think he's almost certainly out. And then what's wrong with Haskins? What, he's got like a tight hammy or something?
Yeah.
Concussion. Okay. Depending. All right. Well, that's 50-50. If they have 2 running backs, if not Jarrett Patterson, he's 4,100. That's still more expensive than I thought he would be.
Yep. I have the stats here.
All right, let's hear it.
I don't have the fantasy points, but you can do the math. Bo Nix went 26 for 29 for 321 yards and 4 passing touchdowns, and had 7 rushes for 47 yards on the ground.
Wow. Okay.
Again, I mean, the situation is basically the same, except the Chiefs were the 1 seed last year, and the Chargers are like the 6th, 7th seed, something like that this year.
Yeah.
But they're both locked in. Like, nothing can happen to knock them out. They have no reason to play their starters. They're not going to play their starters. And the Broncos have every reason in the world to win this game by as many points as possible. So obviously you can't just copy paste and say he's doing it again, but like, he's in the position to do it again. And I don't think Sean Payton's going to let up. So I think Bo Nix is wildly playable.
And was he 6K, 6,200?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Last year, Cortland Sutton, 5 for 98 and a touchdown. Marvin Mims, 5 for 51 and 2 touchdowns. Devon Bailey, 4 for 50 and a touchdown. Javonte Williams, 3 for 50. Like, they just absolutely poured it on.
And then I think that Troy Franklin, is your time to shine. Maybe I don't know if Pat Bryant is healthy. Pat Bryant, it's your time to shine.
Could be all of them. Could be Mims again, for all we know.
Dude, if it's Mims again, I'll be utterly flabbergasted.
Yeah,
because he's been just nothing this whole season. But
he was nothing all of last season.
I know.
The last 2 weeks of the season, he just exploded for fantasy points. So I think you play Broncos. I think you giga stack it. I think Harvey's a great play. I think any of the Broncos receivers are totally viable. I think Evan Ingram's totally viable.
Where are you at with Keenan Allen? Do you think they'll try to get his incentives in there? He needs 6 catches for $750,000, and then 9 yards for $250,000. Then he needs 2 TDs for another $250,000, but that's not going to happen.
We'll definitely do the 9 yards, I think.
Yes.
Doesn't really help you for fantasy, but the 6 catches is certainly interesting. I really don't know. Like, he probably is considered a starter, but I don't know for sure how they, like, could they just view Ladd and QJ as starters and then they roll out Keenan Allen, Trey Harris, and Keandre Lambert-Smith? Like, I think that's perfectly viable as well, but I would assume that he probably just goes for the 9 yards and then sits, but
Yeah.
he would be interesting if he's going for the 6 catches. I don't know what the upside is with Trey Lance for him to really be like that interesting. I do like Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith though. Like, I know it's a good defense. I know they're trying, but they're both pretty talented. Like, Harris has started to come on pretty strong in the last quadrant of the season. KLS has touchdown equity and big play upside that he just hasn't really had the opportunity to show once they signed Keenan Allen. So I like their pass catchers. I don't know how great they're going to score or how involved it's going to work, but if Trey Lance hits, you can assume that at least one of these guys probably comes along with him.
The only other thing would be if he just runs it in for a touchdown. That would be the quote-unquote worst-case scenario.
Yeah.
For the wide receivers, but it looks like to me he'll need some help against this defense.
Are you interested in Vidal if he plays?
No.
Yeah.
Like, for what it's worth, I do think Vidal, if he was 100% healthy, I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Based on just like in general how he has been on the injury reports, it doesn't seem like it's a good idea to play him.
Yeah.
When did last time play Denver? Oh, did you miss that game?
Yeah, it might have been early when he wasn't needed.
That's right. So then I was gonna say, how did they do against Denver at the beginning of the season? 19 for 70 and a touchdown. All right. That was at home, and that was Omarion Hampton, who's unfortunately a much better running back.
Yeah.
I'll stick with my initial answer. It's no. I'm not that excited. I'm not really that interested either. It's not like he's expensive, but I'd rather just play someone in a better matchup who's a little less, or a better matchup and more expensive, and play it for a little better player.
I think he's not cheap enough for the downside that's there. Like 51 isn't expensive, but it's also not, there's guys that you feel good about playing at 4,300 on this slate, and like $800 is a lot of money in the context of the slate. So I'm with you.
Tight ends. I know you like Evan Ingram, so I just want to briefly just mention Oronde Gadsden. He did find the end zone last week, but otherwise he was relatively quiet. 6 targets we like to see, but he has been not as involved since his breakout.
Yeah. I also don't know if he's playing, unfortunately.
He could also just be straight up benched. That's a good point.
I don't know how the Chargers constitute a starter at tight end, so could be that they don't play Will Dissly because he's old and a good blocker, or they might not play Gadsden, or they might not play either of them. So no idea. Probably if you get very definitive news that Gadsden is playing, then I think he's playable, but I don't think you're going to get that very definitive news, and it's the afternoon slate, so you're going to have to pivot real hard otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be thinking about playing a Dawson Knox or something, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'll go play Gadsden. I don't think you should do that. But hey, if you're thinking about it, just be ready to pivot very quickly.
Yep.
Defenses, I think you play Denver.
Yep.
Even if it's a very exciting and scary Trey Lance, I think they'll almost certainly get an interception this game.
Yep.
Do we need to talk about this one?
Briefly.
Okay, so KC heading against Las Vegas. We have Chris Alodakun. I was so close. I usually have it. Alodakun. Oladokin. There you go.
Oh, Looney Tunes.
Number 19 on Kansas City. He is competent. He is not very exciting, but he didn't absolutely just fall under the pressure against Denver. He didn't really do much. He threw for 66 yards. So there's that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think there's two conversations to be had in this game. Do the Raiders play Ashton Genty the whole time? Because if they do, he's probably interesting. Because again, the Chiefs aren't trying, the Raiders aren't trying. Genty is talented enough that he can just make it work, as he did a couple weeks ago, and he's cheap. So I think Genty's probably worth playing. And on the Kansas City side, if this is Travis Kelce's last game and he's retiring, I could very much see the game plan is to just send him out on his shield and pepper that man with 4-yard slants over and over and over again and get him a great game to send him out. Whether or not that's happening is unclear, and I don't know if it will be clear, but I don't think it's like the worst play in the world to play him in one lineup and just be like, maybe this happens and maybe they feed him and it's not going to be great, but he gives you a nice like 12 to 15 point floor with 20 to 25 upside if he happens to get a touchdown or two.
That is truly the only interesting play.
Yep.
Because of that reason. I don't even know how close he is to any sort of like Hall of Fame type of records.
Yeah. I would assume he's up there on most tight end categories, but like passing Tony Gonzalez and pretty much anything feels unlikely with his longevity. So, and Kelce started late too, so
right.
He's probably more in like the Gronk category of where stats are. So probably not sniffing anything, but he's also probably shattered every Chiefs record already by a lot. So I imagine it's just, if it is his retirement game, they get him involved. And if it's not, then they probably don't throw him at all. Maybe not even play him. So if he's out, for sure he's coming back next year.
Yeah, and that's the end of the list. And in terms of the Chiefs' relevant players, for incentives, Hollywood Brown needs 1 touchdown for $250,000, and Kareem Hunt needs 31 scrimmage yards for $125,000. So that's not as lucrative as I thought it would be.
But also, like, they're gonna play him like in a meaningless game, like. God forbid we look at Brashard Smith and like get that man 25 touches. No, they're going to play Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco again because that worked so well this season.
Trot him out. Well, they'll give him his 31 yards, scrimmage yards, so it can be catching or rushing.
They'll take 3.5 quarters, but they will get him there.
10 carries for 30 yards. Yeah, this is truly what needs to happen here. For the Chiefs, I don't think they care though.
Tracy workload just one time.
Yeah, just to see what happens.
Yep.
But
yeah,
that's it.
That's it from that game. Just
both
defenses are probably playable because both offenses are that bad.
I don't know if I'm playing the Chiefs at 3,200, but you're absolutely right because it's Kenny Pickett and Michael Mayer, and that's it.
I will say Michael Mayer is interesting. Like. When Brock Bowers is gone, he does just inherit the Brock Bowers role, and he's obviously not as talented as Brock Bowers, and it is Kenny Pickett, not Geno, but he was a 2nd-round pick. Like, he is talented in his own right, so I think he's again fine as like a lower cost bottom barrel type of tight end, but I don't think he's anywhere close to like chalk like he was last week.
Yeah, it's not nearly as close. And I was shocked by 10 targets, truly. I didn't think he was going to be relevant. I thought it was just going to be Genty and nothing else because it was the Giants. But it's good to see that he still has it. He can
Yep.
still do that with what
Wish
he's
they
good.
would do that with Brock Bowers.
Nah, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Next season's gonna be so weird for the Vegas
Mhm.
Raiders. All right, last game of the day. Washington heads to Philly for a game that is, I don't even know how to describe it. This is just a backup galore because we got Tanner McKee playing against Josh Johnson. Oh my God. If we're lucky, we get the Sam Howell revenge game, maybe, huh? Why not? Throw him out there.
Yeah, it is interesting that they're playing McKee over Howell, but
He's just better at this
he
point.
he was good in this exact spot last season, where he started week 18 for the Eagles and they sat all their starters and he worked for. He wasn't like an amazing fantasy player, but it worked. He got the job done. He was decent. I think he had like 2 passing touchdowns and 250 something passing yards, and that's all you really needed out of him. So he's facing a bad enough defense where I think you can go back to the proverbial well on that, but I also don't think he provides any type of ceiling whatsoever.
No. Especially when I think the biggest play in this game is going to be Tank Bigsby. I think this is going to be like a smash of all smashes.
I hope so. I wonder if he's considered a starter by the Eagles.
Oh, that would just be,
which then makes Will
tragic.
Shipley the smash of all tracks.
I know.
But I also wonder
I'm
if
happy
he's
he's healthy.
considered. Yeah, like I don't know in the running back situation if either or both are considered starters for them, because Shipley is also like their main kick returner, punt returner, like special teams guy. I don't think they would want to lose him, but obviously they have to play someone. So Eagles is another one where you like really need to pay attention to what they're saying. I agree with you though. Like if they're all playing, I think Bigsby is like a great play in this game. I just don't know if he's playing.
Yeah, it's let us know. Tell us, please. I know we have a bunch of time still, but
yeah,
figure that out. Washington running backs, I am torn, but I think I'm still going JCM.
Yeah, he's played better. They've leaned on him more. I think, again, you're in a meaningless season. Like, why would you play Chris Rodriguez? Like, just hand it to the rookie. Like, let him go, see what happens. Give him some confidence. I think JCM's a pretty strong play this week as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and I think I'll probably cue him up a couple times. I just think that his big playability was shown by, like last week, kind of showed us what he could do.
Yep.
I think that's probably what he is like going forward. Wide receiver, don't even look at the first 2 wide receivers because they're not playing. So with Jahan Dotson, I guess Darius Cooper. Yikes.
Cooper's interesting. He was an interesting rookie.
He had a really good preseason.
Yeah.
And then disappeared, obviously.
Yeah. So like he might, again, what muddies this up is that last year in this same spot it was Kellen Moore calling the plays, and this year it is very much not Kellen Moore, and there's a noticeable difference. So it kind of just depends on how much you believe that these players are good versus like the system is just crappy. So they're interesting, and the Commanders certainly can't defend, but I don't know. I think if I'm playing anyone, I'm probably playing Dotson.
The revenge game again.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Sorry, I just double checked. This was not Julio Jones.
That would be the most bizarre team for someone to ever come out of retirement for. It's just like a 3-win bottom of the barrel Commanders.
I love Jane Daniels.
Something to note, I don't know how much they're going to care. Deebo Samuel has a lot of incentives for this game, and they're all pretty high incentives as far as like marks to hit.
Oh boy.
So he gets $250,000 for 10 more receptions on the season. He gets another $200,000 for 93 receiving yards on the season, and another $250,000 for 2 touchdowns on the season. So will they build the plane out of Deebo Samuel? Probably not, but they also could. Like, they could just, it's not like they can do much of anything else, to be honest. Like, this offense is on its third quarterback and is down multiple offensive linemen and multiple weapons. Like, it could just be a Deebo game, and he's only 5K. So I think he's worth just sliding in there just to see. Like, they're probably not going to bench him. They've been playing these guys for the last 4 weeks, and they've been out of playoff contention for like half the season. So he's probably worth playing.
I like it. I kind of like this play a lot.
Yeah.
Mainly as like they got to help out their new wide receiver, right, to keep him around for next year.
Yeah,
because he's already 30. He's I don't know. We'll see if this duo comes back, McLaurin and Deebo, with a healthy Jaden Daniels.
yeah.
So I would hope they at least try and get there.
They should,
but we'll see. Tight end, no Goddard.
Don't care.
No one else. Ben Sinnott maybe, huh? He had one catch, I think, last week.
I mean, it doesn't help that he has barely played with Mariota. It's basically just been Josh Johnson the whole time. And every time I say the name Josh Johnson, I have to like remind myself that, yes, it is that Josh Johnson, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Josh Johnson from the early 2010s.
Yep, he is still plugging away, living the dream, going to UFL, coming back, going to XFL, coming back.
Folks, if you have a child that's athletically gifted, like, just teach him to be a backup quarterback. Like, make him slightly good enough to stick into the NFL for 15 years, because boy, oh boy, do you never go away.
You just keep hauling in paychecks. And then once in a while you show up and people start talking about you and you're like, all right, here we go. And if you're bad, it doesn't matter because you're a backup. And it's just, didn't expect anything from you anyway.
You don't lose your job because you never won it to begin with.
Oh, man. This is the only player. I mean, well, if you're looking at tight ends, like, I don't know, you could get really nasty with it.
Yeah.
But don't, maybe.
He's expensive.
Why is he 2,600?
Yeah, like.
All right, never mind. Kylan Granson.
Yeah, I just don't care in this game.
Okay, pass. I guess you could play Eagles defense. I don't know how many starters are sitting or how many are playing, but
I don't think any of them are playing. If I know, if I
heard
correctly.
All right, then I'm good with that.
I mean, it's also still Josh Johnson, so it might still work.
Hey, he was hooping. He was doing a great job against Dallas defense. Wait, what? He only had 8 points?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Hooping was a strong phrase. he existed in our plane of existence for sure.
Maybe it's just because he didn't throw an interception. So I said, yeah, these guys got it still.
Yeah, he did not fail. He just also did not succeed.
They didn't need to. JCM was just that good.
True.
Wow. All right. We made it through. Yep. That is every matchup. A long, gigantic main slate this week.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you have the energy to make a roster right now?
Might as well. Got to get over 2 hours.
Our contractual 2-hour limit.
Yep.
All right. At quarterback, all right. I'm gonna just say it. We can build the Arizona roster. We won't do it right now because we've done it 800 times already.
Yeah. Let's try something else.
So we'll see a new one. I'm actually kind of in on this Bo Nix Super Saiyan type of lineup here.
Yeah.
So I am a little curious, and just for building out sake, I want to see how we can do by just putting in all of the Broncos players first.
Yeah.
Let's just see. Let me just make this easy for us here. Den. Sutton, you're in. Pat Bryan, you're in.
I think that's enough.
That's fine. All right. Ingram, you're in. Okay. Oh wait, of course. In. All right. And we still got. Oh man. We still have a lot of folks we can play here. because
Like-
I want to play James Cook.
I mean, like, I kind of am just like Bijan, smash, Gibbs, smash. like, just like Gibbs is so live to just put up 40 points again, and people are just not playing him because he's had a few bad weeks. Like, James Cook is fun, but we would have to like pay attention and like
That is very
possibly
true.
him out. Like, I know that if you're like truly grinding DFS and like really locked in, then you will do that and you should do that. But like, I also kind of don't want to be that invested on a week 18 Sunday. Like, I would like to just
Yes.
lock them in and be like, they're gonna score, and if they don't, oh well. But the theory was there. But it also depends on who we can get here if we do Gibbs instead
Like,
of Cook.
Marvin Mims, baby. So like, what's terrifying is,
It's a 5-player stack.
so obviously we can wrap up our show with the Denver Broncos super stack. But other players that are kind of interesting are guys like, Jalen Noel, we talked about real quick in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Someone who can score a random 30-yard touchdown. More importantly, Kevin Austin,
Yeah.
who is the only passing option for Shuck right now outside of Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Secretly could close out this roster. KLS, like we talked about, like in that same game.
Yeah. Wasn't Trey Harris like right at the top of what we could afford?
Trey Harris he is at like 3,600 exactly.
It's really betting on this game, but if this game does exactly what happened last time, just instead of 38-0, it happens to be 38-21, like, it works.
All right.
Like, it could be there.
Like, and if you, all right, so say it went like something like this, and you were like, I'm worried about the Broncos. I think this is where you just easily, let's just go ahead and add that Minnesota defense against, and then we can open up some more points. And now we don't even need to go Trey Harris in this game, or I guess even Pat Bryant. Like, we can go literally anything else, because now we're at 4,400, and there's a bunch more real options, I think, a little higher. Like, well, maybe not Shimmer DK, but
I mean, Slayton is interesting with no one left.
like Kyle Williams, Jerry Jeudy, who we don't really want to play, but we can. Trey Tucker is the wide receiver 1 over in Vegas.
Yeah, if you think the Hollywood touchdown for a bonus is at all even possible for Kansas City, it could be interesting. Could also pivot off of Ingram and go for a cheaper tight end if you don't want to have 5 Broncos in your lineup, which I could totally understand. But yeah, you could go cheaper tight end or more expensive tight end. It's definitely something to play around with. The main thing is, we're not going to build it because we always build it. The Cardinals stack is probably the stack you want to do, but it will keep you out of the Bijan and Gibbs territory. So you kind of have to decide if that is worth it for you, because there is easily a world where Bijan and Gibbs both put up 40 plus.
Exactly. I'm trying to figure out why I can't play Justin Jefferson.
I mean, we could.
I mean, maybe because we really just don't have enough to play for a tight end at 2,000. Wait, no, that's not true. What's going on here? I feel like I'm getting pranked.
Tight end is 2,500.
2,500. Okay.
I mean, if you wanted to not giga stack Denver, but only have like Nix, Harvey, and even if you don't do Sutton, but you do Franklin and Pat Bryant and not Sutton, then you might be able to get to Jefferson.
I don't know if I want to try this hard for Jefferson.
Which is fair.
But what if we did it anyway? Like, if we went here, let's go, and then what was it? I think Franklin, they're both 3,800 or something like that.
I think so.
Let me make it easy for myself again. 49 and 38.
49's kind of steep for Franklin.
I thought I was just thinking too.
That leaves just what, 28 for tight end? There's some punt tight ends that you can talk.
Oh, good player, Terrence Ferguson.
Perfect. Ferguson, you could say that Schoonmaker gets most of the work because Jake Ferguson comes out after one drive. Like, yeah, there's Dulcich. I think there's some interesting plays down there for sure.
Yeah, now you're just getting real gross with it. Our boy Sal Cannella already.
That's how gross the slate is.
Oh man. But hey, this is just one option here. I think honestly, I think you're right. I think a roster just starts with Bijan, Gibbs, figure it out. And it's okay if Gibbs has been not great. I think he still has a shot to do something really fun.
Yep.
And you just wish for the best in the last week.
Yeah, they're both in. Well, especially Gibbs is just in a matchup where they're going to try, and it's against a team they really want to beat, against their former OC, and there's probably going to be trick plays involved, and Bears defense is not that great, so I think Gibbs is probably my favorite play on the slate, and I think Bijan's probably my second favorite play on the slate. So I think you should build a lineup where you have at least one of them, and I think you should build a couple lineups where you have both of them.
And after Bijan's performance, I don't think you really go wrong. Truly. Alrighty. I think it's gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
And that's gonna do it for us for the for the regular season.
Yeah.
We're done. That's 18 weeks of DFS. I know we've been split between, I missed some. We started the season with Sean instead, but Tim, we've done it.
We did. We never kept it short. It was never a brief look. It was a very comprehensive look, but I think that's what the people want. That's what I like talking about, at least.
And it's been fun the whole way through, and we've even managed to make a few bucks here and there. Don't stare at my DraftKings balance. I keep betting on college games for some reason, and there it goes. Just line goes down. Anyway, thanks you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Honestly, all season. Catch us on various other shows. Tim's doing an awesome series on best ball, so definitely go check that out. We play on Underdog, and you can see down below for new customers. Just follow these instructions down here. Get $75 on bonus funds, and check out Fantasy Now Plus on our site. Head over to our Discord, where we're constantly talking, chatting, and just overall just having a great time. And every conversation is a little more funny than the rest. And yeah, hang out and check us out wherever we are. And I know we're on Blue Sky as well, so find us there for all our more impromptu thoughts and feelings on fantasy DFS and the NFL as a whole.
Yep.
So
we got lots of off-season content coming. We will not be slowing down that much in that realm, so keep your eyes peeled in the next couple. We'll probably slow down a bit until the Super Bowl season is over, and then we'll be right back to grinding away on a lot of stuff. One last thing to mention, we are running a playoff contest where you are drafting basically one player from every playoff team. There's 13 total roster spots out of the 14 teams. $10 to enter. Winners get a lot of the pot. It'll be run on our website. Look for it. It will be fun. So if that interests you, you can enter as many times as you want, $10 each. See if you can predict who can score the most fantasy points in the NFL playoffs.
And you'll challenge us. We'll have a couple lineups in there.
Yep.
And we'll just chat about it, post about it, and we'll see who's the smartest and most knowing ball knowers across the fantasy playoffs, or I guess the NFL playoffs. Fantasy playoffs are over. Season's except for those Week 18 championships happening right now. Anyway, I think my brain's fried. I think we got to get out of here. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Get Tilted, and we will see you later. And best of luck on all your slates this week. Peace. Out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.